Anyway, the kind of player that we are getting. I'm going to say my one minus, and I'm going to go on a positive after this. My one minus about the young man's play is competition level. In Massachusetts, they're not spitting out the biggest and best. I watch him in his highlight tapes, and just like Coach Hayes would say, it's a bunch of little Timmies out there. There's some guys that's probably going to UMass to major in business. It's some guys that's going to
say there's a bunch of guys that aren't going to play any football anymore. This is their end of the football. So I was going to even trump you on the UMass, but you filled it in with it. Yeah, they're going to UMass, but they're going to business school. Yeah,
you're right. Which is nothing wrong. There's more to life than
absolutely.
football. But I'm just saying, as far as from the football perspective, that's where you're coming from. You got some guys going to UConn to play men's volleyball. Okay, that's the kind of people that we got on his tape. That is my only minus. All right, let's get into some positives. One, he was rated very highly in the state championships, did not win the state in wrestling. He is a state championship shot put thrower. He is a state championship discus thrower. He is the number one player in his state. He was signed and listed as the number one player in his county, one player of the year in the state of Massachusetts, and will be attending the Under Armour All-American Bowl. Okay, so those are some of his achievements. He stands at about 6'5", roughly about 6'5". He's in the early 300s. Early on, it was a very big issue because he was very light in the behind. That's the term that we like to use. Light in the behind, what that means is he was pushing about 250, 260 in some of his videos just a year ago and the things that he would put out. Okay. There's just one video of him going live where he was just like on his knees and he was using the power. So powerful, Mark. He's on his knee, popped out into a stance, and seamlessly went into his six-step kip slide. Leverage. Another thing that is really tough for young men to learn when you're playing that high, when you're tall, 6'5", is leverage. Now, plus in him playing against smaller, littler guys, him being a wrestler, him throwing shot put, is the knowledge of the power that comes from your hammies, your rear end, your core. Okay. Being able to play at that level and engage those muscles upon contact, especially in wrestling. So he's going up against these 5'8", 5'9", 5'10" defensive linemen. He got to get down there to them. So that might also end up being a great positive for him because every time I watch his highlight tape, his leverage, it's not like on contact, as soon as he makes contact, he starts to rise up. You see him make contact here, and as he steps, he gets lower and lower and lower, and you see his chest start to come up and his hips sink down. That's how you know that you're engaging your lower, because even if you try to do it while you're sitting right now, you tend to rise up. You see yourself doing this when you engage those muscles. So that's what you're looking for in offensive lines. I don't know if his coach is teaching him that or maybe he has a private coach. Either way, whoever has been assisting him in his growth, thank you, because you're helping this young man go off to be probably a great college football player, but more likely than not, you showed him the great knowledge of leverage and how to properly engage certain muscles. Now, the next thing. He's a nasty dog, Mark. He's very nasty and aggressive. The big thing with offensive linemen is you want to be able to, yeah, you that big, but are you a big dog that's moving folks? Are you just like tossing people aside because you're tall? Or when you clamp on, you see that initial jolt and they never get a chance to separate. Okay. Plenty of times you see offensive linemen get them hands on people, and then as you see the defensive linemen stack them up, and as the play goes, they share it and go over. You see him engage with people, the next thing you see is the man going in the ground. Okay? Because that's the way when he has that grip, that hand strength, and he puts them in the ground. I say all those things to say this. I'm very, very excited about the young man. As you can see in my voice, as you can see in my face, I'm excited about signing him. To the fans, he is an early enrollee. He's coming to the University of Miami per his commitment. We still have to allow him the opportunity to come in now, face men that look him in the eyes at 6'5". Face some defensive linemen that who happen to be 6'1", who are very powerful. To face a defensive lineman like Ruben Bain, who's 6'1", but has a 6'4" wingspan with really long arms. Or even to face 6'7" young man we flipped from Michigan, who's taller than him. For him to go up against guys that's been in college a couple years, who are 20 and 21 years old, who may not be the best player, but you are 18 and you think you can move them with their grown man strength. For him to be able to learn how to, okay, now you got that 3 technique, you step down, and you coming up to a senior linebacker in Corey Flagg, who's 5'10" and a half, you think you about to just blow him up, and he uses his leverage and pops you because he's coming from here up. So it's just exciting to know we have that kind of player, that kind of prospect, but we also have we're building a good offensive line culture. We can't wait to see what he can do stepping into the program. I'm only speaking to the fans and to myself, trying not to get too overly excited and just putting him into the starting lineup and thinking he's going to plug and play, he's going to destroy everybody, we finally going to run the ball, we blowing everybody. No, he still has to come in, he still has to be coached, he still has to continue to work hard, he still has to meet Coach Aaron Feld first and his staff and our nutritionists and Coach Bellamy and what they do in the nutrition program at the University of Miami. He has to step into that realm first, then step into his playbook, and then he'll get a chance to put on those pads, put on the helmet, put on the uniform, and go out and play. So we want to be excited for him, yes, but not saying temper your expectations and saying that you don't think that he's going to play. What I'm saying is understand that freshman in the trenches, especially in the trenches, if at corner, maybe. Receiver, sure. Running back, okay. Maybe even some outside linebacker, but places like O-line, D-line, middle linebacker, free safety, quarterback, some places it's a little bit more cerebral or physical, but on offensive line it's cerebral and physical. And sometimes it takes them a mango season or maybe half a mango season to be able to get the right physique and mental strength to take off.